Welcome to the PrinnyCast special announcement. I'm Chris.
I'm Mike.
And we're just going to take a few moments here to clarify some stuff so we don't waste time on the weekend show explaining some of the things that's going on. First of all, Rover may be still missing for a couple more weeks. His moving situation didn't go exactly as planned, so he's having some issues with his internet. But he did leave a message that wasn't exactly cryptic, but it wasn't exactly spelled out either, that he may be joining us soon. I don't think he'll be making it for this weekend, but that's okay. We have our special guest coming, so I think we'll be okay there. But if something changes, hopefully I'll hear from him by tomorrow and we can get that a little more clarified of whether he'll be coming back with us sooner or later. Either way, he should be back with us by May. So, I think everybody pretty well already knows now about the whole Square Enix situation, but we're having to change the format of our show due to this whole situation. So, first of all, I understand that they have full control over their rights on trailers and such like that, so I'm not angry with them so much in that respect. But simply the situation that they would take trailers that's everywhere and only mark some of them. This is where I've kind of come to a realization, and I think Etna hit it right on the nose last week. It wasn't what I was thinking it was. See, I remember using the Final Fantasy trailers, but there was a Dragon Quest X trailer in there, and we were talking about how its sales weren't exactly very good, and I'm thinking that a representative thought we were talking trash about them. Now, if they would actually listen to the whole story, it was more we were talking how bad the Wii U hurt Dragon Quest X. And part of the thing that we pointed out was it is an MMO, but you know what? I gotta give credit to an MMO selling anything near a reasonable number, because there's only been a handful of them on a console that has ever even been released, and none of them were what you would call successful, and probably did not sell much better than the one on the Wii did. So I'm not backhanding Square when I say that it didn't sell as well as the actual full-fledged JRPGs that's single-player. Those will always sell better in most markets, except for maybe the PC market, and then it would be the exact opposite. But yeah, I'm guessing that that's what it was. They took offense by that, and I'm almost a little flattered that our little tiny show would have that kind of response from a company like Square Enix. So if that's true, I'm more amazed than I am offended anymore.
We still don't kiss ass, though.
No.
And we'll be just as hard on them in the future as we have been.
We don't play favorites. I mean, we're hard on Zynga because their business practices and their games are barely games. But when it comes to the hard work people do put in, there's some artists, there's some musicians, there's some... We are not taking everybody in a big clump and saying you're all awful. All in all, I see both sides of the fence. That's one of the reasons why I try to stay off the political and religious and the sexist and all that kind of stuff when we talk about our stories. But well, as I mentioned in a previous video, we probably will be getting a little more in-depth with the stuff and not being so tippy-toe around them, because we may have opinions about stuff, but I think it's important that the community actually talks about it. A little overbearing with copyright rights and what happens to them. Or what exactly is the media allowed to do? Because you look on the copyright agreement stuff for YouTube, and as long as you're using clips from stuff, and it's in a critical or a review or for a news show, which we're kind of all three in this light sense, it's perfectly legal. And maybe it's just because I was using the trailers wholesale, but I've been flagged for clips before too, so I do not know how this works. Nobody is explaining it. It's been a week and a half now, and nobody has contacted us. No big surprise, mind you, but and the situation's still up in there. But either way, I noticed this situation's different than the one that happened before with the movie games thing. When we got flagged then, and our account got backtracked into a standard, as soon as I disputed it, we were back to normal. That didn't happen this time. Anyway, I'm probably making this whole announcement a little longer than it needs to be, even with the edits. But what this does mean for the show is that the 15-minute parts will have to continue. But being that the case, this may actually be a lot easier for a lot of people to watch, because, 10 to 15 minutes is what most people tend to watch on playthroughs and everything else on a video game, or news stories and such. So this may actually help us more than hurt us in the long run. In this case, we're going to be separating the podcast into 3 to 4 parts. The first of which is going to be the intro, where we talk about the games that we've been playing. We'll probably shoot the breeze a little bit about what we've been up to, or just any random thoughts that's on our mind to fill up the time, or not, depends on what happens. Game news will be part 2. Hopefully we can fit all that in 15 minutes, because some of the game news stuff has been stretching longer and longer that between those 2 parts. We'll just drop unimportant news stories if I have to squeeze it into the 15 minutes. And then the topic. It's more of just a tentative thing. It's probably what we'll do this weekend, is go ahead and do things as normal, but after that it may change, and that is just one 15-minute topic, instead of trying to, fill an entire show, which is the one topic. topic. In this case, it'll be probably the 2 15-minute segments like we did last week as the emergency edit went. But I don't know. It really depends on what all we have to talk about. And our guest has confirmed, so we'll be having a special guest with us tomorrow, all the way from France. And I guess that's about it. I almost feel that bad that I pulled you in here because you said like 2 things.
That's alright. I lost my hot water tank.
Uh-oh.
My individual apartment is a 2-story stairs. I do the recording and stuff upstairs. For whatever reason, whoever designed this apartment complex thought it would be a good idea to put the hot water heater in the ceiling above the kitchen upstairs. So when that went, my upstairs room got pretty soaked. I didn't lose any electronic equipment, thankfully, but I did lose some Magic the Gathering cards, which I will be filing a claim with on insurance, hopefully. See how that goes, because I don't know what they're going to pay me for them because they weren't inexpensive. I lost 2 decks and a card box. The card box, the reason it's bad is it's made out of nylon on the exterior, and it's for putting decks in. I was able to fit 7 decks in it, and I still had room for a few more, but that interior part that separates all that out is made out of cardboard. Mm-hmm. So the water soaked through the nylon and ruined all of the cardboard on the inside, so it wasn't usable. My commander deck and my plane chase deck were both in there, and they were just in the little paper box. I didn't have them in a plastic case, because, they fit better that way, and I didn't know my hot water tank was going to go, so they were both ruined. The commander deck is completely trashed. Completely trashed. Since it was the hot water tank, I guess the hot water started making the card paint, the details and stuff, come off of the card. And of course they warped, so...
Well, as bad as it is, do you have any floor damage from it?
They've already repaired the floor.
Okay. It's
hardwood in the kitchen and carpet in the room where I'm doing the recording, so... It's kind of like a studio apartment, sort of.
A little bit.
But, yeah, the kitchen is where Sydney's computer is. That was fine too. It was only really around the countertop where I had the cards.
And man, we had one crappy week last week, and then this week I was hoping things would be going better for people, but it's been a mess everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Tornadoes, bombs,
an explosion down in Texas. It's just
the fertilizer plant.
It's been a bad week all over again. Matter of fact, this one's probably worse than last for at least national events. I mean, the worst anybody really I could remember talking about last week was North Korea, and same old there. It's been going on for 20, 30 years.
Home front will never happen. Don't worry.
Red Dawn remix. But I guess we'll leave it there, and we'll see you all next week for the PrinnyCast episode 30. Wow, we just keep moving right along.
Yeah, keep trucking.
And so until next time.
Until next time.